And welcome back to Who Would Win. Today's Who Would Win comes to us from the god of death, What If himself, who asked the question, who would win a fight, Mr. Mxyzptlk or Mad Jim Jaspers? This is, okay, so this is really like apples to apples kind of, except one apple is a Granny Smith, the other is a Red and Delicious. They're pretty much similar characters in terms of their power sets, but they have a few very different caveats to him. So Jim Jaspers is actually, or James Jaspers is actually a mutant. He's like a main villain of like Excalibur or Captain Britain, and he is a massive reality warper, like reality warping on a multiversal scale. There were two versions of Jaspers. The weaker version of him actually had to have his entire timeline erased, so he wasn't going to be a threat. And Mad Jim Jaspers is the stronger version of that, where he's actually a threat to the entire multiverse. I tried to find out exactly what he was doing. All I really said was he was a reality warper on a multiversal scale. That's it. But if you're able to send him to a universe that has no matter or energy or anything like that, well, then he's powerless. That's a lot easier said than done, but it's possible, I suppose. You need, like, I mean, I don't even think like having the Infinity Gauntlet would do you much good against a guy like this. Although I guess theoretically it could. The Infinity Gauntlet is one of those things where it's hard to judge how it is against multiversal threats. But in theory, the Infinity Gauntlet is still capable of controlling everything within that universe. I don't know. But like the heart of the universe, freaking hell, this guy even outranks like cosmic entities like Eternity or Infinity. Like only multiversal entities such as the Living Tribunal or the One Above All would theoretically be one of those individuals that outrank him, or the Beyonder or something like that. But this guy does come with a few weaknesses of his own. As I said, if you were to theoretically remove all matter or remove all energy, well, he's powerless. Easier said than done. However, he also suffers from serious psychosis of insanity if he overuses his powers. At his full power, he's gone completely insane. But yeah, he's still immensely powerful, overly powerful. Mr. Mxyzptlk, and that is how it's pronounced, is a fifth-dimensional imp from the fifth dimension. In the animated Superman show, he is voiced by Gilbert Gottfried. Hence why, rest your soul, Gilbert, I wanted to use that image. But his power is, yes, like anything you could think of, he can literally do. But his power is less reality warping. Apparently, it is magic from the fifth dimension. So it is a different type of reality warping, but he can literally do anything his mind thinks of. Even if he is to theoretically take damage, he can just negate it. He himself is bound by a couple laws of his universe. As longer he stays in Earth and our universe, the more prankster-like he becomes, the more jovial, more childlike he becomes. So he's susceptible to those kind of to not taking things seriously or opponents seriously. But beyond that, he is bound by the rules of the fifth world, the fifth dimension, where if you can figure out a way to convince him to go back to the fifth dimension, as you saw in like the comic run or in the show where he had to say his name backwards, then he would go back and he's bound to stay there for a certain amount of time till he comes back. I love the fact, I loved how Superman just kept fucking with him the entire time of that episode. Just, it's like, you get my name backwards. What, your name is backwards? No, my name is Mr. Mxyzptlk. Yeah, but what's it backwards? You gotta maybe say it backwards. Say what? It's Kill Tipsy. Oh, darn it. And when he came back again, okay, let me just edit this and I'll be right with you. Hold on, give me that. Fine, there. What? And it turns out he purposely misspelled it to make him spell his name backwards. At one point, he just appears and reappears again. And then again, he says, okay, new rule, I gotta say it backwards twice. Ha ha! And then he just gets him to skywrite his own name. It's like, you win! You're the superior individual! And now I gotta go away! Oh God, I miss Gilbert Gottfried so much. I like the old animated Superman show. I'm not a big Superman guy. I've said many times when I'm not a big Superman fan, but I like that show a lot. So Anywho, so yeah, and that that in and of itself, I think, really kind of spells out the winner of the fight ultimately, because they're just going to be able to trade blows infinitely until the end of their days. But so you really got to figure out how to exploit each other's weaknesses. And Jim is actually a very intelligent individual when he's not going insane. So if you get someone who's very intelligent with more or less an equal power set to said individual you're fighting, and that individual gets more and more childish as the fight goes on, gets more and more prankster-like, sets rules for how he is going to how to basically defeat him. Well, then, unfortunately, for my good friend Mr. Mxyzptlk here, you're going to lose. And Mxyzptlk is the only one who has a clear, exploitable, weakness or thing to prevent him from continuing his stuff. So yeah, I'd probably go Jim Jaspers. Now, if Jim is going completely insane, well, at that point, then it's England's game. I might say that because Mxyzptlk will take himself seriously and take the situation seriously if it calls for it. He's done it in the comics before, where he is like, no, I will take a situation seriously when it needs to be. So I think because they're roughly evenly matched, but because Mxyzptlk's power is a magic, not just like straight reality warping powers, but magic. And B, he would not be insane. He would take a guy like Jim seriously after a while. If Jim is going insane enough, then yeah, maybe Mxyzptlk can exploit him and do something to basically send him to a world with no matter or time or whatever, just an empty void of nothingness. But yeah, in a normal bout where they're not going insane, or Jim's not going insane, then Jim, I think, is going to win the fight. But that is just my opinion. What do you think of the comments below? Let me know. Till then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you folks for the next one.